Bullying. Well, like I said, when I was growing up, I had this kid that he was the evildoer of the neighborhood. All the kids used to be afraid of him. Um, and it was the jungle, in a way, in a neighborhood, because every time when you would go to school, you had to pass through that store, you know. And before to pass through that store, it was this guy right there waiting for you, you know. So you had to have money going up to school and money coming down to school, because if not, you get a booty whipping. So um, obviously, after I started practicing martial arts, my self-esteem got a little bit stronger, and obviously, my posture changed. The way I walked changed. The way I talked changed. So when I confronted this person now after a couple of months, and not something that I went and looked for it, because I was afraid of this person, you know. Keep in mind that I guess fear is injected, once you inject fear on an individual, you have a 90% of the fight won. And this is what I always tell my students. Every time you do a punch, we want to inject fear, and if you inject fear, as soon as you do the move, the student is going to blink and whatnot. And if you have that done, 90% of the fight is won, because of how the punch cannot even hurt, but the fear makes it 10 times hard. So I never looked for a fight for this gentleman, so for this kid. So the time came, and when I he asked me for money. I said that I was not going to give him any. He pushed me. I did a spinning kick. I didn't hit him, but he saw the kick. He was totally surprised of the ability that I had acquired. It was out of necessity, not because I wanted it to. It was out of necessity. My dad saw that I was getting beat all the time. Now, that's the change that it did for me when I practiced martial arts. I felt that it gave me that sense of security. Now, not everybody has that type of character, though. Because I have students that come over and says, well, Sifu, I have my student and he's being bullied at school. And I want him to learn some self-defense. Well, the first thing, that's not going to work if you want to put your son to practice martial arts to learn self-defense, because it was not his idea. It was your idea as a parent. Second, the student needs to have that type of mentality for him. So for him to learn a physical activity, first he needs to be ready mentally. And like I said before, mentally and spiritually, the kid needs to be able to say, okay, this is what's going to be happening to you. What happens, you go to a martial arts school or a boxing club, and they put the gloves on, then they show the punch, boxing kicks, and then they put him to fight in a week or two. The kid is not ready mentally ready. He's physically ready, but mentally he's not. He's cool doing kicks and punches, but as soon as he gets hit, he doesn't like that. Now imagine getting hit by somebody that you're afraid of. So obviously you're going back into a shelf. So I think the way to approach this type of bullying for the kids that are being bullied is first to find the proper program for your kid and build up the self-esteem part first, then the physical part second. Example, we have kids that maybe are a little bit overweight and they don't want to do martial arts. Well, we need to find a way to motivate, that interest for the kids. In some schools, they have parkour. They integrate parkour, into the martial arts. That's something fun to do. That's an introduction for the kids to start practicing martial arts. The type of training is now, like I said before you can just put a flyer, a kid doing a kick and a punch, and we used to come to the school. But nowadays, we're competing with so many other sports, so that we need to kind of make our students kind of look our way to say, hey, look, we're offering something fun, and at the same time, by the end of the day, you're going to be stronger, smarter, and nobody's going to bully you because you have that self-esteem. So when you get that student motivated in a positive way, then he's going to be able to see that he can accomplish things physically. Because before, he doesn't have the mentality for him to do it. It's like when they say to you, I'm going to go on a diet, and people say, well, I'm not disciplined enough. That's because they're not mentally ready, they're not mentally tough. So one of the things I think that we need to teach for our students before they start practicing martial arts is the mental toughness.